What's good, everyone? This your main correspondent, Alan Taylor, and I'm back in the broadcast room yet again. And this is where we at, people. Listen, look, as you can see the title of the broadcast, it's going down. It is what it is. Now, the thing of this is, I'm dying to see what some of the ladies out here are saying about this particular situation to where, yes, SNAP, all this, welfare, whatever, used to be called welfare when I was growing up, things like that. What are they thinking now? How are they feeling about the taxpayers just blatantly just being like, it's no more money for you out here?
So what the French toast is going to think about?
It's no more money. And I mean, it's stipulations to the situation. They're trying to arrange it in a certain type of way to where, the healthy people that can get up and work and things like that need to get their ass up and go to work. And of course, everybody else that, has other issues, things like that, things keep going. But, listen, look, let's dive off into this because I'm dying to see what some of these ladies are thinking. Let's go here now. Quarters, nickels, and dimes, people.
I'm fucking pissed the fuck off. They cut my motherfucking food stamps to $85 fucking dollars from $738. How the fuck that's supposed to support a household of 3?
Get a job.
For a job that barely even support my basic needs now. Like, inflation is high and the bitch groceries is high as shit. Oh, I'm pissed the fuck off. Like, I'm mad as shit because how the fuck am I supposed to survive off that shit? So when y'all see me in the motherfucking store stealing stuff and that shit in my motherfucking bag, nicely act like you don't see shit and mind your motherfucking business because this shit is going in my motherfucking bag and I'm walking out this motherfucking store with my motherfucking chest up and my head held high and I dare you to try to tell me, hey ma'am, excuse me, because I'm gonna look at you like you fucking retarded and say go talk to Trump about that shit. On my kids, anybody that motherfucking voted for him, girl, fuck you or him. Fuck y'all. Because y'all the stupidest motherfuckers I ever seen in my life.
Nope. Sorry, ma'am. You are.
So what the French toast is going to think about?
This is the deal here. This is the deal. This woman want to sit around here talking about, people that voted for Trump are stupid and this and that. Listen, look, it was time for change. It was time for change. And this mooching and damn, what's the old Cab Calloway song? Just if you're older cat out there or older lady, you remember that, previous time, stuff like that. Cab Calloway, Minnie the Moocher. Yeah, she a Minnie the Moocher. You know what I'm saying? A well-known seducer. And talking about going into the store, taking things, and you're gonna go in the store and steal, baby. If you had it done right, that find you. What are children's fathers at? Why ain't he helping you? Where your family at? Where's your community and things like that? Have you come to a place to where you've pissed people off and ran people off and pushed people out of your life to where, nobody wants to help you now. So now you're in this situation right here to where the government is rearranging itself in its priorities now, and all of a sudden you think you're finna walk into a store and take something that you hadn't paid for. So now you finna end up in a whole nother situation to where you're finna get taken away from your children because you're in the store stealing and shit.
You old fish-eyed fool.
This is ridiculous, man. This is ridiculous. And see, this is the point right here that we're talking about. With all this craziness that's going on, and these ladies are crashing out and things like that over situations that, was supposed to be meant for, using it to a certain period of time and trying to, better yourself and, try to move into a better space. But it's just it for the past 40 years plus, it's been used as a crutch for people to just live on and think that you're just going to, you people out there actually thought that type of situation was just going to carry on in America for like forever. Taxpayers was just going to keep paying these Section 8s and all this type of stuff and things like that and just let y'all keep use the system. This is crazy out here. So we're going to see what this young lady here had to say. Well, this lady here, it is what it is. Let's go here now.
I was looking at a YouTube video a while ago, and they said that the Trump administration is going to crack down on what people can buy with food stamps, and also they're going to crack down on the budget. I'm going to say this. This is my opinion, and I ain't finna cut nobody feelings and nothing in this. If you are disabled, meaning that you are unable to work, you're on SSI or whatever, you are in poverty level, you deserve to get food stamps or some kind of supplement to your income so that you can help buy food, because food is high. Number two, if you're one of these girls out here that's having babies every year or every 2 years and say that you are building a family and you are still classified as at the poverty level, meaning that you are getting federal assistance for your housing, meaning hoods, you're getting child support, you're getting child care vouchers and all of that shit so your kids can actually go to school. You're getting $1,000 to $1,500 a month in federal food stamps so that you can feed your kids, and you lay around on your ass and on your back every day and suck and fuck and keep mess up and stroll on the internet on your free Wi-Fi.
Hold on.
But you're a Dorito. You was never chose. You're a Dorito, bitch. And you're mad that you're not chose, and you never will be chose.
What did she just say? If you're laying around doing all types of sexual crazy activities and shit like that, you need to get up off your ass. And we know this is going down. This has been going down for decades the same way. Yeah, women have been having children, things like that. They don't want to be in families and marriages and stuff like that in order to, have the proper things that need to be put in place in order to make sure that, they build good communities. That's the issue. If everybody get out of their fucking ego and actually do life the way it's supposed to be, then everybody will be successful. But some people just too lazy in order to do the things that they need to get done.
I want you to know that I don't give a damn. And they say, oh, well, what about the children? These people didn't even care about their own children. For one, you're already poor. You're already in poverty. Why do you keep on having kids? They have free child family planning. They have free birth control, free condoms at the health department, and y'all still keep having babies so y'all can lock down a man or so y'all can stay on federal assistance. I don't give a motherfucker if they cut you down to $50 a month. Your ass should work 4 jobs to feed them kids. That'll stop your ass from having all them children knowing you can't fucking feed them. And they say, well, if they give us food stamps, they should not be able to tell us what to buy with that, and my children ain't gonna eat that. Your children have been programmed to eat junk because you don't cook. Right. Your children have been programmed to go in there and eat Hot Pockets for breakfast and Cheerios and sweet cereal and all that bullshit that's later on going to give them heart disease and diabetes. And then you want to know why they act like they ain't in their right mind, jumping all over, because it's the proper foods that you're not giving your kids. If you're going to get federal assistance, meaning that you're going to get money from the government, meaning the taxpayers' money, they should have a choice in what you are feeding your family. And if you don't want to do that, then you should get off your lazy ass and get you a job.
Hey, well said.
What the French toast is there to think about?
Well said. And, that's how it's going down. Listen, look, people are tired of tax money going to things, especially us out here that actually have to go to work every day, 40 plus hours a week, things like that. And it's crazy to me. We're actually having to pay full price for food out here. And if we do decide to, maybe sign up or try to get something from the government, they're going to tell us, hell no, you actually are working out here. Why would we give you anything? But, all that's being rearranged now. And that's the reason why people are losing their minds out here, because it's being rearranged. And these are just the facts about the matter. And, I'm glad it is. But, it is what it is at this point, man. Yeah, people got to get up off their tails, man. People are tired of being used out here, and hardworking people are. So let's see what's going on here.
So y'all, I'm doing a video today because as I'm continuously scrolling on my TikTok, I keep seeing y'all post these stories and post these things about them cutting off food stamps. Okay, so the reason I'm rolling my eyes is because most MOST, because y'all tend to not really listen properly. Most of everybody that's on food stamps and even Section 8, I know I mentioned Section 8 in another video, but this video is about food stamps. Most of y'all that's on food stamps be lazy as a bitch. I grew up with a mama that stayed on food stamps. That bitch was lazy. That lady. Most of y'all purposely sit around and don't work to get food stamps. Y'all would rather choose getting food stamps over actually working to be able to pay your bills. When most of the time, y'all own food stamps and don't get no real food. Yes, I said it, real food. Every time I look around, people that's on food stamps getting straight junk food for them kids. Already.
And that goes back to what the previous lady just said about, you know what I'm saying, the nutritional value of our children in America, definitely the Black children, things like that. I grew up in a time where, you know, the women in my family cooked. I mean, fresh food. You know, I've watched my grandmother and grandmothers both of them just sit down and snap green beans from fresh and cook them from scratch. You know, they actually soak the black eyed peas overnight so they'll be good and soaked and stuff like that for good cooking and made for great black eyed peas, cornbread from scratch. When you make food, homemade food from scratch, it's not only made with love, it's made with the ingredients that you strategically put in that food, so you know how your family's being fed, you know there's not a lot of fat and also other things in your food, to where it keeps you healthy, keeps the children healthy and things like that, and keeps people at a proper weight.
And what the French toast is there to think about?
I'm just being honest out here. Everybody want to sit around here where, you know, fried foods is bad for you. Yeah, it's bad for you when you go to these fast food places and get that shit like that. You know, when you cook it at home and you cook it in the proper fats and stuff like that and things, you could have good, healthy fried chicken or fried pork chop or whatever. You could have good, healthy food, but you have to make that shit from scratch. It ain't going to work unless you make it from scratch. And at the same time, though, too, definitely when decent ladies that have actual love and loving souls about themselves cook good food, Jesus Christ, it's something about a feminine woman that cooks good food that's actually putting her heart and soul into it, that makes a family whole. Whether y'all like it or not, it's just the truth.
There are Kool-Aid packs and juice, like these artificial messed up juices, cakes, all types of Debbie cakes, man. Y'all don't be feeding them kids real food, but sitting around here crying online, talking about he cutting them out. Get up and go work. You got people out here working and paying their bills and taking care of their family. Then it's another thing. Y'all got all them kids. You knew that you weren't gonna be able to afford those children. You knew from the jump, if something like this was to go down and happen, you need to be able to afford the children that you decided to have. I'm young and I know this.
Hold on, baby. I don't think they knew. See, that's a part of planning. That's a part of looking forward to the future, which, you know, a lot of women don't, you know what I'm saying? Especially women in that type of mindset, you know what I'm saying? And men too, you know, with that type of, you know, ignorant mindset. They don't think towards the future. That's the reason why they're in the situation that they're in, and they're comfortable in that situation because they don't want to think that hard to think forth to the future. They don't want to think that hard. Let's go for both men and women. They don't want to think that hard to the future. They don't want to have to strategize to figure out, you know what I'm saying, you know, I need this bank account, 401k, I need to do a little investment, and, you know, they don't want to think that damn hard. They don't want to think that hard.
If I know I can't afford 7 kids, why the heck I done set up there and kept laying down having them?
Because it's a free ride.
Another thing is, y'all got 7 kids and be single. Where is your husband? So you don't mean to tell me you done sat around here and kept believing these men and having kids with these men, and now you in this situation and now you crying on TikTok? We can't help you. Get up and go work.
They not crying for no reason. They crying for sympathy, but they knew they knew exactly Lil Ray Ray wasn't gonna take care of none of them motherfucking kids. They knew that shit. I'm tired of everybody sitting around here trying to act like women don't know what the hell they doing out here. But allegedly, if we, allegedly say, well, women, they mature faster than men, and okay, they mature so much faster than men in this, or boys or whatever, but now all of a sudden, these women told they're victims and shit like that, and they didn't know, and oh my good Jesus Christ, it's crazy out here, man. Listen, look, all right, so we're about to dive off into this facts right here. Let's see what this lady had to say about the situation at hand here.
In that new bill, they changed the SNAP benefit requirements. And this, I'm not going to say shit, but what is in there? And I'm going to leave you to analyze the implications. Parents of children ages 7 to 17 must work 80 hours a month in order to qualify for SNAP. But in households where there are two parents who are married, only one of them has to work to still be able to receive SNAP benefits. That means single parents with kids as young as 8 must work, while people who are married to a working adult don't have to. 80% of single parent households are headed by mothers, per census data. Homeless people, veterans, pregnant women, and those under 18 or over 64 are exempt from these work requirements. Do with that what you will, and talk amongst yourselves as to what that means.
Y'all know what that means. Y'all know what that means now. All right, then. Fine. Fuck it. I'll rewind it real quick.
In that new bill, they changed the SNAP benefit requirements.
Okay.
And this, I'm not going to say shit, but what is in there? I'm going to leave you to analyze the implications. Parents of children ages 7 to 17 must work 80 hours a month in order to qualify for
80 hours a month. How many of these women you think are going to want to work 80 hours? 80 hours? 80 hours a month. Okay.
SNAP. But in households where there are two parents who are married, only one of them has to work.
Ooh, that's a huge... don't that sting? That stings a little bit, doesn't it? So you mean to tell me they're rearranging the situation to promote families, marriages? So you mean to tell me if okay, let's just go here now. Hold on. So you mean to tell me they're rearranging the system to where if you actually are a married couple with children, and there's a one income household, or maybe the man, of course we already know the man's supposed to be working a lot more. Okay, cool, fine. And the woman maybe works a tiny bit, but they can get government benefits because there's a majority one person income household within a marital unit. Hold on here. I'm trying to understand this now. I'm trying to understand this. Because this is not what's been going on for the past 40, 50, 60 years. It's always been the fact that, women had to kick the man out of the household in order to gain these benefits. So now it's like this mystical reverse. It's like this mystical reverse that, all of a sudden they're going to give married people the benefits and single people are going to have to work 80 hours a fucking month out here. Interesting.
To still be able to receive SNAP benefits. That means single parents with kids as young as 8 must work, while people who are married to a working adult don't have to. 80% of single parent households are headed by mothers, per census data. Homeless people, veterans, pregnant women, and those under 18 or over 64 are exempt from these work requirements.
Okay, so we're gonna end it there because I did play it twice. This is where we at, people. Shout out to that.
And what the French toast is there to think about?
Wow, look at the whole rearrangement of the situation. This is crazy out here. But this is where we at, man. And listen, look, I'm telling you, man, like women for the longest, man, thought that the system was on their side. And the system got women to a certain place in society for so many decades. This is the long game here. This is how life goes. Life goes in the long game. If people don't understand how people get played and stuff, like people get played in the long game. It's not the short game where you get played. You get really played in the long game. And this has been the long game. For decades now, women have been dependent on these vouchers and Section 8 and all this type of stuff right here. Now the system is transforming itself, is turning a different direction, and is not including single mothers with single mother problems. The system is trying to rearrange itself and get back to, promoting families and community again in order for America to survive. And these are just the facts. And this is where it's at right here. Listen, look, people, it's crazy, but it's true. I think that, like Kevin said, winter's here.
And what the French toast is there to think about?
And it's full-fledged, and I'm talking about it's ice cold out here. It's ice fucking cold. And it's going to get even colder. So if you could afford it, I suggest you go buy some chinchilla and shit like that out there to make sure that you got them in prepare for this cold weather out here. But if you can't afford that chinchilla, you might need to make sure that you get a good coat from Sears if they still exist out here, right? Hey.
And what the French toast is there to think about?
But it is what it is, though. Shout out to all my subscribers. Mad love to y'all. If you're new to the channel, please hit that like, share, subscribe button. Make sure you ring that bell to be notified whenever I decide to post things. And like I always say,
and that, my friends, is the bottom line.
That, my friends, is the bottom line.